Buen día, buenos días, good morning, bienvenidos a todos, welcome to everybody. There is interpretation today, I understand, in several languages. Bienvenidos a Valencia, welcome to Valencia, y bienvenidos a la tercera sesión anual de la Cumbre de Alcaldes Firmantes del Pacto de Política Alimentaria de Milán. Como saben todos ustedes, se trata del primer protocolo internacional que hace un llamamiento para que las ciudades desarrollen sistemas alimentarios sostenibles. Fue establecido en octubre de 2015, promovido por la ciudad de Milán, con el apoyo técnico de la FAO, la Organización de las Naciones Unidas para la Agricultura y la Alimentación. Desde entonces, unas 160 ciudades son firmantes del pacto. El año pasado, la reunión tuvo lugar en la sede central de la FAO en Roma, donde fue elegida por unanimidad la ciudad de Valencia para hospedar esta tercera sesión. Y es para nosotros, para la FAO en especial, un gran placer poder estar aquí en Valencia con todos ustedes y quisiéramos darle un agradecimiento especial al alcalde de la ciudad, Joan Ribó, por el liderazgo que ha demostrado en los últimos 2 años al frente de la alcaldía y que nos ha permitido estar aquí. Y con todo ello, es para mí un gran placer y un orgullo como valenciano darle la bienvenida a nuestro organizador, el alcalde de Valencia, Joan Ribó. Tiene usted la palabra.
Señor Director General de la FAO, señor Secretario de Estado de Cooperación Internacional y para Iberoamérica y Caribe, alcalde de Milán, Director de Comunicación de la FAO, alcaldesas, alcaldes, autoridades, participantes en el tercer encuentro anual y cumbre de alcaldes. Buenos días a todos. Pensar en lo global es el signo de los tiempos. Nunca nuestras vidas han sido tan dependientes de procesos que ocurren a miles de kilómetros o a pocos metros. Pero pensar en lo global, si queremos mejorar una realidad que en muchos aspectos es insatisfactoria, nos obliga, igual que en muchos otros temas, a pensar en lo cercano, en lo cotidiano. De entre todas las acciones necesarias para mantener una vida digna, la alimentación es la más esencial, la primera que debe afrontar cualquier ser humano. La alimentación adecuada es la base para el resto de acciones que debemos desarrollar. Por eso, reflexionar sobre el derecho a la alimentación es necesario. Nadie que tenga un mínimo de sensibilidad puede permanecer impasible ante el hambre que padecen millones de personas. Es un honor tenerles a ustedes hoy aquí en Valencia. Es emocionante reunirse para pensar y planificar un mundo de derechos y dignidad. Y habrá que reunirse tantas veces como haga falta hasta que cambie la realidad. Estos centenares de millones de seres humanos merecen reconocimiento, afecto y toda nuestra energía. Valencia ha sido y es una ciudad ejemplar por su relación con la alimentación, por su preocupación por expandir el derecho a la alimentación no solo a su ciudadanía, sino a cualquier habitante del mundo, y queremos seguir siéndolo, porque no entendemos la vida sin dignidad, la dignidad de todos y todas, la nuestra y la de todos los demás. En la Declaración Universal de los Derechos Humanos de la Asamblea General de las Naciones Unidas de diciembre de 1948 en París, se reconoce el derecho a la alimentación, un derecho que permite que todas las personas del planeta tengan acceso a una alimentación adecuada. Hoy, casi 70 años después, no se puede negar un ingente trabajo desde Naciones Unidas por la difusión y consolidación de este derecho. Con todo, cualquier acción sigue siendo hoy necesario. Hace poco más de un mes, ayer nos lo comentaban, FAO daba a conocer en su informe mundial que el hambre del mundo aumenta por vez primera después de 15 años. Todos los días, más de 815 millones de personas, una cantidad equivalente a toda la población europea y de Estados Unidos, terminan su jornada sin haber ingerido la cantidad mínima de calorías, proteínas y vitaminas. Dicho de forma más directa, pasan hambre. El hambre está aumentando. Se venía manteniendo en cifras cercanas al 10,6% de la población mundial durante los últimos años. Hoy, 11 de cada 100 personas pasan hambre. De forma paralela a esta situación de falta de alimentos, muchos informes médicos y sociológicos nos advierten del creciente problema de la sobrealimentación. Según diversos estudios, cerca de 700 millones de personas de todo el mundo superan el umbral de obesidad. Más de 100 millones de ellos son niños. La obesidad y el sobrepeso aumentan de forma significativa enfermedades como la diabetes, distintos tipos de cáncer y enfermedades cardiovasculares, amenazando convertirse en una preocupante crisis mundial de salud pública. La obesidad se ha duplicado en los últimos años en unos 70 países, al igual que lo ha hecho el desperdicio de alimentos que acaban en los vertederos de las ciudades, provocando, por cierto, graves emisiones de gases de efecto invernadero. Esta situación paradójica nos obliga a reconsiderar muchas cosas. En primer lugar, a pensar en la dignidad de todas, de absolutamente todas las 7.500 millones de personas que habitamos este mundo, a reflexionar y a buscar alternativas en todo el proceso de generación, distribución y consumo de alimentos. Nos obliga a repensar desde la sostenibilidad la fragilidad de los sistemas alimentarios y su exposición a los conflictos, a la especulación de los mercados y a las consecuencias que ya está empezando a mostrar el cambio climático. No estamos hoy ante un problema de falta de alimentos, es un problema de distribución adecuada y de control de la especulación sobre los mismos. Por otro lado, los problemas de obesidad y sobrepeso están directamente relacionados con el aumento del consumo de grasas y bebidas azucaradas, el desplazamiento de los productos naturales o mínimamente procesados por los productos alimenticios ultraprocesados, las carencias en el etiquetado adecuado de los alimentos y la falta de regulación de los mercados alimentarios, acompañado de un gran despliegue publicitario que incide especialmente en la población infantil. Sin duda, son necesarias acciones regulatorias encaminadas a defender y proteger la capacidad de los individuos para elegir una alimentación de calidad, acciones que los mercados por sí solos no realizan. La alimentación sostenible es demasiado importante para dejarla solo en manos de los mercados. Muchos de estos problemas pueden abordarse y avanzar en su resolución desde las ciudades. Está en la mano de las ciudades y de su valiosísimo espacio político reconsiderar y avanzar en el derecho a la alimentación de calidad de su ciudadanía. Está en manos de las ciudades informar y educar adecuadamente a sus vecinos y vecinas y establecer mecanismos de producción y distribución de alimentos naturales y de proximidad. El Pacto de Milán es el marco por el que las ciudades inician una relación constante y fructífera entre ellas para conseguir sistemas alimentarios locales sostenibles y a la vez para desarrollar y potenciar su relación con las agencias de Naciones Unidas implicadas a nivel global en este inmenso reto que supone hacer operativo a escala mundial el derecho a una alimentación de calidad y sostenible, sin olvidar que las ciudades deben estimular e impulsar la actividad física de sus habitantes tanto en sus desplazamientos cotidianos, potenciando la movilidad sostenible, como en el deporte y la actividad física en general. En Valencia hemos iniciado un plan de trabajo trienal para continuar desarrollando estas políticas alimentarias que abarcan desde la producción agraria, el desarrollo del comercio de proximidad y kilómetro cero, hasta el trabajo de información y formación de una nutrición saludable desde los más jóvenes hasta los más mayores. Pero no queremos reducir nuestro trabajo solo al ámbito local. Tenemos el objetivo de crear un centro internacional de alimentación sostenible que sea punto de encuentro para la promoción, sensibilización, información e investigación sobre estos temas cruciales para toda la humanidad. No hay mayor reto para la humanidad en estos momentos que conseguir lo que se ha denominado hambre cero. No hay más noble objetivo ni necesidad más acuciante que todos los seres humanos puedan alimentarse de forma natural y saludable. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, alcalde. Nada de esto hubiera sido posible si la ciudad de Milán no hubiera, en el año 2015, tomado el liderazgo durante la Expo que se celebró en su ciudad para lanzar este movimiento de ciudades. Es por todo ello que es un gran placer en este momento dar la palabra al síndaco de Milano, el señor Giuseppe Sala.
Dear fellow mayor, delegates, distinguished authorities, good morning, buenos días e buongiorno a tutti. I'm happy to join the annual gathering of the cities of the Milan Pact. As you know, the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact was launched in Milan during the 2015 Universal Exhibition. My colleagues told you before. And the Expo was dedicated to feeding the planet. I managed the Expo as CEO and Commissioner of the government. Now, last year, at the beginning of my mandate as mayor, we met at the FAO headquarters in Rome, and now I'm honored to be addressing this assembly once again here in Valencia, thanks to Mayor Ribot. As mayor of Milan and chair of the Milan Pact Steering Committee, I want to be concrete and inspiring. It is my hope that this meeting will turn more and more into an opportunity to share and discuss our achievements and even more our future goals. I dare present you a sort of state of the Milan Pact. Here come the key numbers. 158 cities, over 100 best practices on food policies collected through the Milan Pact Award, and 2 years of networking and sharing of experience. In the last few months, I had the opportunity to address the topic of sustainable urban food policy at international summits, for example, in Mexico City, Stockholm, and last but not least in Milan, during the visit of the former President Barack Obama. I'm proud to say that expectation went well beyond our and your hope. Momentum around the pact is still considerably high. We earned expression of interest from international players, such as the European Commission, United Nations system entities like FAO, UN Habitat, World Food Programme, and G7 Minister meeting. The work of the Pact on placing urban food policy themes on the international agenda generated a blossoming of local actions in metropolitan areas. The inspiring map of relation and policies best practices exchanging that is shown here reminds us of this. Cities are actively collaborating on the topic of nutrition as never before. Since the birth of the pact, as local government entities, we were able to create a new political space of institutional inclusion and cooperation. It is truly remarkable what was achieved by cities worldwide in such a short span of time. I will provide you with just some examples of cooperation. Mexico City and Tegucigalpa on food canteens, Baltimore and other US cities on governance, Toronto and Nairobi on urban horticultures and agriculture, Dakar, Douala and Praia on micro horticulture, and Milan and Maputo, Birmingham and Pune in India on school canteens, and Milano and Quelimane on food waste. The growing importance of cities is undeniable. More and more our communities expect from us, rather than from national government, the best solution to their everyday challenges. This is calling we mayors to our responsibility. Our citizens demand from us an engagement to healthy and sustainable nutrition in all aspects of the daily life of our cities. Urban food topics are of common interest to the city of the North and the South. Rarely a global issue has been more transversal than that. A dense and meaningful exchange of practices is supporting our growth, both for the pact and for its local implementation. Almost every signatory city made great improvements in their government process and general policies. And this, let me tell you again, in just over 2 years. Parallel to the city-to-city and north-to-south cooperation, we also assisted interesting regionalization processes. For example, several West African cities joined the Dakar Forum. 10 Southern African universities joined the African Food Security Urban Network. The Northern American cities established the Food Policy Directory Task Force within the U.S. Conference of Mayors. And Canada saw the birth of FLEDGE, a research and knowledge sharing partnership among Canadian universities, local authorities, and national government. And in Europe, regionalization is supported by Eurocities. Similarly, pre-existing networks such as Sustainable Cities in the UK, Healthy Cities in Italy, Dutch Cities Deal in the Netherlands, and Agro-Eco-Cities in Spain and others are enlarging their scope to nutrition issues at higher level. I look forward to hearing similar cases happening in other parts of the world as well. As much, the Milan Pact helped us to gain global recognition, as much regionalization facility exchanges in broader common cultural, linguistic, institutional, and legal framework. As Pope Francesco said just a few days ago on World Food Day, the institutions are called up to work together through coordinated and systemic intergovernmental action. And I'm glad to say that our joint activities, we aimed at achieving precisely this sort of multilateral cooperation. The focus is clear, and we are growing stronger. And yet, we still face a number of challenges. One of the most worrisome is the decreasing availability of resources for local government. We must overcome it by demanding that funding opportunities on nutrition be increasingly allocated at city level. We have to task that to our government. And according to the priorities that cities have agreed upon and that are the backbone of our pact. We must concentrate on strengthening our dialogue with the European Commission, United Nations, philanthropic foundation, national funds and private sector entities. We must be prepared to explain what the needs are on the ground and also what the solution may be on the basis of our shared experience. Milan is preparing to host a global forum on nutrition as a side event of the G7 ministerial meeting on the health next November, in few days, that will highlight the role of the cities and will call upon funders for a stronger commitment toward the goal of the United Nations Decade of Action on Nutrition. And I will, of course, represent all of you, all the million-packed cities. We must also not forget to invest in the training of the human capital inside our city administrations. The fragmentation of action that sometimes handle the efficiency of our food system can be overcome through knowledge mobilization among politicians, civil servants, researchers, entrepreneurs, social actions, and so on. In the development of our food policy, we turn from heads of administration into influential community leaders. In this role, we can generate added value for our cities, for instance, by connecting a multitude of local players, such as universities, public agencies, social actors, private sector, and other institutions, toward the common goal of sustainable food systems. There should be no need to say that the Milan Pact Steering Committee is open. It's really open to suggestions from all of you. As you know, an open consultation is about to be launched to solicit your point of view on what matters most for our cities, on your interpretations, suggestions, and vision. Once the consultation is completed, we will consolidate the received proposal in a paper that reflects the future of our alliance. I'm sure it will be most useful to draw the roadmap of our future work. For me, in my opinion, one of the key pillars will most certainly be a mechanism of setting of indicators and monitoring of activities, which will help build the case for even more action. This is absolutely true in my consideration. And mainly for our citizens, for our fellow citizens, it is fundamental to tell them where we want to go, with which tools, but taking targets and objectives is fundamental, even for a dialogue with the institution and the media. And in addition to that, at the end of this gathering, we still we will share a final message, the Valencia Appeal, a joint commitment on the role that we can play at global level on the themes that are dear to us. Cities are ready to participate in the global governance of Agenda 2030. We want to participate. The new urban agenda and the Paris Agreement. Let's get even more involved in these processes to the benefit of our cities and citizens. Dear colleagues, the state of the Milan Pact is strong. I am glad to call upon all of us for a renewed commitment toward our common goal of better food system in our cities. Thank you very much.
Gracias, Sindaco. Tiene ahora la palabra el secretario de Estado de Cooperación Internacional para Iberoamérica y el Caribe, el señor Fernando García Casas. Tiene usted la palabra.
Buen día, Egunon, buenos días. Señor director general de la FAO, señores Sindaco di Milano, señor director de Comunicación, estimado alcalde de Valencia, gràcies per la seva hospitalitat en aquesta ciutat oberta als béns de la cultura, del progrés, del comercio y de la solidaridad. Es un gusto estar ante ustedes y compartir junto a lo que han dicho los intervinientes anteriores, agradecer la invitación a estar presentes en este tercer encuentro del Pacto de Milán, que en sus 2 años de existencia ya ha reunido a 158 ciudades. Les deseo muchos años más de existencia y de continuidad en su labor. Las ciudades han sido, desde tiempos medievales, lugares de progreso y libertad. Somos ciudadanos de estados democráticos porque vivimos en ciudades y las ciudades nos hicieron libres. Y ahora, enfrentados a los grandes desafíos mundiales, las ciudades deben ser también focos de evolución y de progreso. Compartimos plenamente el trabajo y objetivos de la Milan Urban Food Policy Pact, porque cosas tan esenciales como asegurar la comida sana y accesible, evitar el desperdicio de alimentos, preservar la biodiversidad y mitigar el cambio climático son objetivos que nos implican a todos. El Pacto de Milán está muy conectado, ha sido dicho por el Sindaco de Milano, con la Agenda 2030, cuyo pin y símbolo llevo hoy puesto. Esa hoja de ruta para la humanidad, para la que, según Ban Ki-moon, el anterior secretario general de Naciones Unidas, todos somos países en desarrollo. No hay diferencia entre países desarrollados y en desarrollo. Y nos gusta mucho el enfoque del Pacto de Milán por su sostenibilidad, por su resiliencia y por su universalidad. Aquí no hay norte y sur. Compartimos problemas, compartamos soluciones.
Es un gran honor poder estar aquí hoy en esa cumbre de alcaldes del Pacto de Milán. Me gustaría reforzar el agradecimiento a Juan Ribó y a la ciudad de Valencia por la acogida y la celebración de ese evento. Quiero también agradecerles su esfuerzo de poner la agenda de seguridad alimentaria y nutrición en el más alto nivel. Un agradecimiento especial otra vez al síndico de Milano por todo el apoyo brindado desde la Expo Milano, cuando empezamos con esa iniciativa. Señoras y señores, la FAO presentó, como ya fue mencionado, recién un informe sobre el estado de la seguridad alimentaria en el mundo. Y desgraciadamente, ese informe revela que después de una caída continua del hambre por más de 10 años, eso repuntó. Tenemos en 2016, que son las cifras del año anterior, 815 millones de personas pasando hambre y un aumento de 38 millones más que en 2015. O sea, volvemos a tener 11% de la población mundial pasando hambre, como lo teníamos en 2012. Quiere decir que estamos en un retroceso de por lo menos 4 años. Además del hambre, hay otros 2.000 millones de personas que sufren alguna deficiencia de micronutrientes y casi 2.000 millones de personas con sobrepeso, incluyendo 600 millones de obesos, sobre todo niños y mujeres. Y eso afecta a todos, no solamente a los países en desarrollo, pero también los países desarrollados. Es increíble ver cómo ha progresado la obesidad en niños en países como Estados Unidos y muchos países europeos. Esas alarmantes cifras demuestran la necesidad de trabajar juntos para erradicar todas las formas de malnutrición para 2030, como se pide en el objetivo número 2 de la agenda. Afortunadamente, la ciudad donde viven hoy día más de la mitad de la población mundial se está movilizando y situando cada vez más alto esa prioridad para una alimentación saludable. Tenemos que aprovechar ese momento para consolidar e impulsar esos cambios. La FAO trabaja para garantizar que los sistemas alimentarios sean sostenibles, más resilientes al clima y proporcionen una dieta saludable y nutritiva para todos. Apoyamos la aplicación del Pacto de Milán de varias maneras. Quiero destacar 2 en especial. Primero, el trabajo sobre los indicadores que estamos terminando al final del año. Ese trabajo desarrollado por la FAO con participación de nuestros apoyadores en estrecha colaboración con la ciudad y las redes de gobierno local y regional, son instrumentos útiles para fijar nuevas metas, monitorar los cambios y sobre todo acelerar la implantación de las políticas de seguridad alimentaria y nutricional. Una segunda forma que la FAO colabora con la Secretaría del Pacto de Milán y otras instituciones asociadas como el C40, ICLEI, Orofogar y la CGLU, es que lanzamos hoy día una plataforma online sobre la alimentación urbana. Esa plataforma, que estará disponible, recoge pruebas e información sobre políticas, buenas prácticas e iniciativas para mejorar la seguridad y la alimentación, la seguridad alimentaria y la nutrición en la ciudad. Quiero enfatizar que la FAO también sigue apoyando a la ciudad en el análisis de sus sistemas alimentarios, en la elaboración de estrategias, planes y la definición de prioridades. Eso es parte de nuestro trabajo cotidiano. El evento paralelo que se organizó ayer por la mañana supuso una oportunidad para presentar y compartir algunos ejemplos concretos de esas iniciativas. Estamos a disposición de ustedes, alcaldes, para apoyarlos en su trabajo. Señoras y señores, permítanme enfatizar 3 áreas que necesitamos poner más énfasis. La primera, la colaboración mutua. Compartir experiencias reales del día a día, las oportunidades, las lecciones aprendidas, ayuda mucho a inspirar unos al otro. La FAO también facilita ese diálogo, sobre todo entre parlamentarios y agricultores, directamente poniéndolos en contacto a través de nuestros programas de cooperación sur-sur y triangular. Estamos también a disposición de ustedes para implementarlos en sus ciudades. La segunda área que necesitamos incrementar nuestra colaboración es la promoción de la urbanización sostenible. Tenemos que fomentar los vínculos económicos, espaciales y culturales, sobre todo más énfasis en las zonas urbanas y rurales. No podemos aceptar pasivamente que continúe la dicotomía rural-urbana. La realidad de hoy día es que se impone un approach territorial que considere un continuo desde el rural hasta el centro urbano. Solo la ciudad próspera y zonas rurales dinámicas pueden impulsar el cambio hasta sistemas alimentarios sostenibles. Esa mayor integración territorial forma parte de la nueva agenda urbana de Naciones Unidas. Y esa es la tercera área de acción que quiero destacar y que necesita más apoyo. Es necesario explorar la sinergia entre el Pacto de Milán y la nueva agenda urbana aprobada en la Conferencia sobre Vivienda y Desarrollo Urbano Sostenible en Quito, el Habitat 3. La nueva agenda pide una mejor planificación urbana y territorial con miras a poner fin al hambre y la malnutrición. Y por territorial, la nueva agenda incluye también las zonas periurbanas y rurales del municipio. Determina además una mayor coordinación entre las políticas alimentarias con las políticas de agua, de salud, de transporte y de reutilización de desechos. Eso último, la reutilización de los desechos, son muy importantes para promover una alimentación sana y segura, reducir las pérdidas de alimentos y también reutilizar los residuos de comida para producción de abonos y de agua servida para riego es parte de la agenda del desarrollo sostenible. Quisiera concluir dando el ejemplo de mi país, Brasil. Cuando me pregunto si de veras creo que podemos lograr erradicar el hambre y todas formas de malnutrición hasta 2030, en los 13 años que nos restan, yo siempre respondo de manera optimista, porque lo que veo que impulsa el hambre hoy día son los conflictos, primero, que es algo hecho por los hombres y depende solo de la voluntad política de los hombres pararlo, y los impactos del cambio climático. De verdad que no podemos evitar una sequía o evitar una inundación o un terremoto, pero podemos evitar que una sequía se transforme en hambruna si tenemos políticas adecuadas para garantizar el acceso a la alimentación. Y eso es lo que pasó en Brasil cuando el presidente Lula en 2003 lanzó el programa Hambre Cero, que yo tuve la oportunidad de dirigir. El programa Hambre Cero era una recolección de experiencias aplicadas en las distintas ciudades del país. No reinventamos la rueda, solo tomamos lo que funcionaba en las principales localidades del país. Y ahí lo pusimos juntos y lo pusimos a disposición más esfuerzos de técnica, de recursos orzamentarios y todo. En 2013, la FAO declaró el hambre erradicada en mi país. Tomó 10 años y mucho esfuerzo, pero un país de las dimensiones de Brasil, 200 millones de habitantes, el nivel que tenemos hambre, 40 millones de habitantes, justifica el tiempo. Tenemos 13 años adelante y podemos hacerlo. Y yo creo que la participación de la ciudad es muy importante. El programa Hambre Cero era un gran menú de opciones para contemplar las diferentes caras del hambre. El hambre tiene muchas caras distintas, muchas razones distintas. Entonces hay que tener opciones disponibles. Pero quiero señalar una que se ha revelado particularmente importante en esa labor. Son las compras locales de la agricultura familiar. Eso se reveló poner todo el conjunto de consumidores urbanos a consumir una dieta más saludable, frutas, verduras, legumbres, leche fresca, huevos, de un segmento que normalmente es donde se concentra el hambre, porque no logran producir lo suficiente para ni sobrevivir, que son los pequeños productores rurales. Esa conexión, ese circuito local que se aplica hoy, por ejemplo, en muchas partes del mundo, también en España e Italia con el kilómetro cero, por ejemplo, es una fuente fundamental de impulsar la dinámica local, el desarrollo sostenible. Si hay que recomendar a ustedes alguna acción para promover esa integración rural-urbana con vista a erradicar el hambre, yo me atrevería a decir para implantar ese programa de compras locales, que además se puede utilizar esas compras en la merienda escolar, en los hospitales, en todo que normalmente una alcaldía tiene que atender. Quisiera terminar diciendo que la FAO sigue a su disposición. Ha sido un privilegio trabajar con la ciudad y que estamos para apoyarlos para que alcanzamos el objetivo número 2 de erradicar el hambre y todas formas de mala nutrición hasta 2030. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, director general. Vamos entonces ahora a realizar una pequeña pausa. Durante la pausa tendrá lugar una rueda de prensa. Invito, por lo tanto, a aquellos periodistas que deseen asistir a que nos acompañen durante la rueda de prensa. Y reanudaremos en alrededor de 20 minutos, media hora. Muchas gracias a todos.
Welcome. Welcome back. Mi dai la voce. Welcome back for the continuation of our works. I invite everyone to take their seats. Je vous invite à prendre vos places. On va recommencer les travaux. And before starting this session, which will be our mayor's debate, I would like to invite all mayors, vice mayors, and city delegates to come on stage for a family picture. So please do come on stage, mayors, vice mayors, and city delegates, because we are going to take a photo call. J'invite les représentants des villes, les maires et les vice-maires à monter sur le stage pour une photo de famille. Merci bien. Thank you. Yes, we are still waiting for 2 mayors to arrive, so just a little more patience. So, el alcalde de Valencia y el síndaco de Milán. Thank you for joining us.
If you don't know the history of jazz, all I have to say is jazz your house, 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 jazz your house.
Thank you. Thank you.
A stranger in this lonely land. Can you help me, brother? Can you help me, brother? Help me if you can.
So I invite everyone to take their seats. Je vous invite à prendre vos places. Et on va commencer avec le débat des maires. We are soon going to start our mayor's debate session. I invite everyone to take their seats. So this is a very exciting moment. We are going to hear about mayors. Un, due, tre. So I have the honor to call here Mrs. Bineta Diop, founder and president of Femmes Africa Solidarité. J'invite Madame Bineta Diop pour une introduction au débat des maires. Merci bien.
Thank you so much. I feel very humbled but honored to be in Valencia today. I think, as we say, the capital of the world on food security 2017. And you allow me to congratulate the city of Valencia for hosting the 3rd annual gathering and this mayor summit. I will facilitate the debate, but allow me also to wear my African women lens by doing that. A woman, myself, just have dedicated more than 30 years of my life to advocate for women's rights, to make sure that women sit at the table, as we have seen here, the mayor of Copenhagen, but others that are in Seoul and others, but the men that are sensitive as well. So that's my job, is to really promote the voice of the women of the world. You know, by doing that, I will try to bring the voice of the voiceless, the ones that are affected in the continent by conflict zone. That's where I operate. The most affected in our society, the ones that have been used and abused, the women in the move, the displaced, the refugees, the migrant, the ones that have been affected by hunger, drought, and malnutrition. I visited many of those countries, being in solidarity with my sisters. In the 90s already, I was in Liberia, in Sierra Leone. I witnessed with the women in the field what the war have done to them in Rwanda, in DRC, most recently in Central African Republic, South Sudan, Somalia, Northern Nigeria, you name them, ravaged by what we call the extremism, the terrorists, the Boko Haram, the Al-Shabaab. Those are the ones that don't allow the women even to eat and to feed their baby. So women are in desperate need of food. Either they are in the camps or in their own family and communities. Let me give you 2 examples. Recently in July, I had a mission together with the UN as the AU Special Envoy on Women, Peace and Security. It was in Maiduguri. And I met one of the women that escaped from Boko Haram. I asked her, and she was in a camp. I asked her, will you go back to Boko Haram? Are you happy in the camps? She said that if I think twice, I might go back, because here, the food distribution, I don't have access. So could you imagine that you escape, you come back, and because of food, you say that I might go back to those that have kidnapped me. That's the reality in the food. I met another woman in East Congo, in the displaced camp. You could see the situation that they live in, the condition. She told me, I don't want to go back because I don't have land here. At least I can eat. So those are some of the situations that we have in Africa. But Africa have another face. It's a continent with a lot of potential, a lot of resources, land, water, ocean, sun, people. That's another face of Africa. But in a few years, 2015, we will double our population to become 2.5 billion, a young population. It can be a time bomb. It can be our asset. So what will we do with our minerals, but also with our agriculture? Because as we know, agriculture is the driving economic growth which really involve the young people, the population. But we need to invest in that. So the leaders that are here today have the opportunity, the political leaders, the one that have our lives in your hand. You have the right to do the right thing, the smart thing, and we will hear about how do you take care of your community, of the citizens. Here in Milano, I think the Milan Food Policy Pact is a great tool. It's a policy tool that will help everybody to have the food system inclusive, sustainable, resilient, safe, and diversified. This is your political will, and we need to know how you are implementing it. Yesterday, we hear about how it is linked to the SDG, your commitment to the SDG 211 and others. You think global and you act local. And that's what the mayors are doing in this pact. Valencia today is the momentum. Let's seize this momentum where we will share your experience, the solution that you have been implementing. We in Africa, we need to know more about how you do it, but also you need to learn from us because they are good experience in this and expertise in this room. So let's have a conversation. Yesterday, I was very happy to hear the FAO who talk about even monitoring. And I think monitoring is not about indicators, it's about the face of the women that is eating healthy food with the children in the community, showing those good practices and experience, and that's why today we are here. To the panel, you will have questions and practical solution. What kind of step you have taken? What was your entry point when you started? Was it the food security? Was it the education? What make you decide to say that this is going to be my entry point to respond to my community? Social protection system, I want to hear. Education, I want to hear. Schools, I want to hear. Everybody wanted to hear. How do you reduce the food waste? Somebody said yesterday, you cannot know the quantity of the food, so waste. So maybe you have a way to do it. How do we mitigate climate change or even to be prepared to that? And there are so many other issues. Myself, I say, how do you involve the beneficiary, the network, the NGOs? Because you have the political top, but the people, how do you do the bottom up and the top down to come together? So I have a great panel, leaders of the world, the 5 continents. We want to hear from you. I will start, I'm sure, by the North America. I will come and maybe give you the floor. We'll present you, introduce you, and followed by Africa, Central America, Europe, Asia, and I think that we will open the floor to the others to comment. So coming to the introducing North America, why I give you the floor first, because you made an interesting discussion yesterday, because you told us how you include a certain segment of your society that are the refugee. So the solution that you have put in place, the mayor of West Sacramento. You inspire me, and I said I wanted to know more. So your urban agriculture, but also, I'm sure you will go into the details. We want to know more. So tell us about what you did. Thank you.
Thank you. This one works? All right. Thank you. I'm very proud to be here. I presented yesterday on some of the work that is happening in West Sacramento, California, which is where I am the mayor. That's similar to many cities in the United States, some of which are here, Baltimore and Austin, as two examples. On our program today, this is framed as a mayor's debate, and there can be no debate without some disagreement and controversy. So I thought I might start with a little provocation. As we've dealt with issues around food waste as one example, to enter the question about governance issues and subnational, national, and city responsibilities. Now, if you had the option by diverting food waste back to folks who were in need of food and hungry, and by doing so, you could eliminate 100% of all hunger in your city. But there would be a 1% increase in the amount of non-fatal foodborne illnesses. So eliminate all hunger, but the trade-off is that you would have a 1% increase in non-fatal foodborne illness. Would you do it or not? Now, this is the sort of question that mayors are great at. Mayors are constantly dealing with questions of trade-offs between different domains. For a subnational government, a state government or a provincial government or the national government, at least in my country, they can't answer that question because it is the health ministry or the health department that says, no, we cannot have even one half of 1% increase in foodborne illness. Our responsibility is not hunger. Our responsibility is only the prevention of illness. And so the national government's perspective is, no, you shall not eliminate all hunger if it means that there will be a 1% increase in foodborne illness. For a mayor, we have to make these choices every single day. Do we allow for more traffic, for more cars, at the expense of more pedestrians being killed, but less traffic? We have to make that decision. But for the national government, every decision is made in silos of issues. And so for many of the issues that we're dealing with in cities, it really is important that mayors take a strong leadership role. Now, you asked, where did we begin on our work on refugees? Because we today in West Sacramento have one of the largest urban farm programs for refugee resettlement in the United States through the International Rescue Committee's New Routes program. But we didn't plan to do that. I'm the mayor of a relatively small city that is in the center of the metropolis in the capital of California and also is in the center of the nation's richest agricultural region. But we don't control the whole ecosystem. We don't control even half of the ecosystem. I do not have the power as mayor to convene every actor, every species in the food ecosystem, and then spend 2 years planning everything that we will do next. I don't always get to pick the entry point for where our work is going to begin. And I only have 2 years in my term in office as mayor. I'm in my 20th year right now, but each 2 years I go for election. So I don't have the luxury of thinking about only a 25-year plan. I have to get action. There are people hungry today. There are refugees today with no options for making a living wage and for eating. So we have to take action today. But we don't have the power to force the action to occur. And so the refugee example is one where refugee activists and NGOs came to us and said, we would like to try to do this. We don't have any land and we don't have any money and it's illegal based on the regulations that exist in your community. So we need help, but we would like to do this. And our urban agricultural program is built entirely on unleashing the power of activists, unleashing the power of people in our community that want to do things. And I use the word activist and action and do as opposed to only consultation and participation and even inclusion, because in a city is a collection of actors doing things. When we simply invite people to come to meetings, if inclusion becomes a synonym for more meetings, while people are starving in our city, while people are not getting access to employment through agriculture, the imperative is for us to solve those problems. And so our challenge as mayors often is to balance between more planning, more outreach, more participation, and also solving the problems that exist in our streets, on our streets and in our neighborhoods. And while at the same time dealing with some of the national policies that exist. I think second is that one of our major focuses as mayors is trying to find other money to address food and nutrition issues. At least in the United States, there's very few resources that are available to cities and to mayors specifically earmarked for food and for nutrition, in part because it is not our job under the Constitution. There's little money for food and for nutrition, but there is a lot of money for transportation. There's a lot of money for climate change. There's a lot of money for housing. So our challenge as mayors often is to figure out how to tackle a food-related issue. Whether it's hunger or nutrition security, but tackle that issue in a way that we can describe as being about climate change, or about inclusion, or about affordable housing, or about transportation, in order to leverage those funds. That will often mean that what we are tackling is the second most important food issue, not the first most important food issue, because where the opportunities are, where the dollars might be available, is for the second priority, or maybe the 8th priority. But we have to tackle the opportunities that we can solve in our communities. The last thing I would say that is sometimes controversial is that because we are the industrial center for the agricultural region in which we sit, we have to talk about food, all of food, including the ugly parts of food, the manufacturing, the processing, the distribution, to some extent the corporate system of food, and all the employment and nutrition that comes from that system. Even in a city with so much urban agriculture, with so much attention around hunger and issues of refugees, we also have to be prepared to talk about the business of food and use the tools that we have as mayors in allowing for the siting of industrial plants and facilities, in making sure we have sufficient ways to get food from farm to market in our communities, and look at the whole system of food production in our communities. Because the ecosystem of food is not only the NGOs, it's not only the citizens, but it is also the companies and the other jurisdictions that are not always coming together for moral reasons and for altruism, but we have to understand the economics that drive their decisions. I think we've had significant success in using and leveraging the power of the market and market actors, people who don't care about hunger, but leveraging them in order to support our work on hunger and on urban agriculture and on refugee resettlement.
Merci beaucoup. Je pense que le rôle d'être maire n'est pas si facile qu'on le croit, d'être élu et de savoir qu'il faudrait regarder les priorités, les défis que vous avez, les priorités, parce que, comme vous l'avez si bien dit, les différents acteurs aiment bien travailler isolés les uns des autres, et de voir comment, ensemble, vous pouvez, en 2 ans, avoir des priorités, regarder les fonds qui sont disponibles et faire en sorte également de prendre en charge les questions de l'environnement, changement climatique, comme vous l'avez dit. Et les différents acteurs, surtout le secteur privé, de leur dire, voilà, investissez parce que vous allez avoir le retour et les bénéfices. Donc, ce n'est pas si facile. Je vais donner la parole à Antananarivo. C'est une dame qui est maire, qui n'est pas avec nous aujourd'hui, et nous avons son conseiller spécial. Olivier, je suis sûr que vous allez... Vous savez, pour moi, Madagascar est le grenier de l'Afrique. Cette île énorme qui a vraiment un potentiel. Qu'est-ce que vous êtes en train de faire? Surtout quand on voit la question du changement climatique et aussi voyant tout ce que vous avez comme nourriture, comment vous faites pour garder, pour faire en sorte que l'Afrique, pas seulement Madagascar, mais l'Afrique puisse bénéficier de cela. Qu'est-ce que vous faites dans votre commune? Qu'est-ce que Madame la maire fait pour sa communauté? Dites-nous les solutions. Voilà. Est-ce que votre micro marche? Ça ne marche pas, je vais vous donner le mien.
Thank you for giving me the floor, everybody. As you said, Madagascar has a lot of potential, but I will start with a little story of how we embarked on urban and peri-urban agriculture, because Madagascar is always hit by cyclones every year. So we have to find appropriate solutions to fight climate change. But there is also another problem. Chronic malnutrition is also a serious issue. That's why Madam Mayor tried to target the primary schools and the vulnerable groups, especially in populous districts, because our objective was to strengthen the resilience of people. Two groups then, the school canteens and also the group of women in the poor districts. And we started a program with school gardens, and the school gardens were designed not just to supply the school canteens with fresh vegetables throughout the year, but also as extension centers, so that we can demonstrate to people, but with limited means, you can make a difference. Yeah, that was the starting point, and we started with 4 primary schools in 2011 and 4 districts. Now we have we are working with 24 schools and 20 districts, targeting 15,000 people. So, and for us, the vision is a balanced diet for all. And it may sound very ambitious, but when you say a balanced diet for all, we are working on 2 fronts, because giving access to a balanced diet for us is not just a matter of producing food. Of course, it is there, producing enough food, so that everybody can access to it is one target. But there is also an educational aspect, because even people who can have access to food because they have the means to buy food, because they lack knowledge in terms of nutrition facts, they don't have a balanced diet. Yeah, and even the people, most of the small farmer producers, they have access to food in the sense that they grow vegetables, they have a chicken farm, so they have the chicken, they have the eggs, they even have a fish pond, but they don't eat any of what they produce. They tend to sell everything in order to get cash. So here, once again, it's a problem of lack of education, and we have to change that, which is not easy, because for many families in that category, what is important for them and for their kids is that when they have food on the table and they are full, that is enough. But being full does not mean that it is a balanced diet if you have a staple, if your staple food is just cassava. So that's a serious problem we need to address in terms of educational programs. How do we involve the beneficiaries? We want the beneficiaries to be at the same time the agents and the beneficiaries of change. So first we identify the target people. We sit down with them and we explain the advantages of a program, because we want them to we want appropriation so that they can take responsibility. And then we assist them by giving them training programs. We provide some of the entrance and we take it from there. Going to the last point, that he said that Madagascar can be the granary of Africa. That's true, because we have a lot of arable land that is not used. We have enough rainfall. We have the workforce. And I think that with appropriate programs, if you can design appropriate programs, and we can, with training, with all the facilities, we can export food to Southern Africa.
This one as well. Thank you so much, Madagascar, because I think you have touched on an important issue, producing, but something that is valuable in terms of the healthy food, but also the fact that you are accompanying the beneficiary, the capacity building, the training, the knowledge. Yesterday, I understood somebody talk about putting even the platform of knowledge, the indigenous knowledge, but also the experience can be shared. And I think that is what you are doing in your solution. And I think the organizers, and I think the Milan Pact, you are documenting in deep all these solutions, because this is great, what we have been hearing from country to another one, and how we do the peer learning. And I think Madagascar is one of the examples. So let's move to the next speaker, and I'm sure that we are learning more while we are debating. The next speaker is going to be from Central America, the Vice Mayor of Tegucigalpa, and his name is Alcalde Juan Carlos Garcia Medina, and tell us about the food canteens, because I know that you are doing a lot, but you are also doing what I just said, the learning, the peer learning, the networking. So tell us about your work in your country, but also in your city. Thank you.
Muy buenos días, gracias a todos y a todas por estar aquí. Muchas gracias, señor alcalde de Valencia, por su hospitalidad. Quiero compartir con ustedes un poco el tema de la promoción de la alimentación escolar que tenemos en nuestro país. Cabe recalcar que el tema escolar corresponde al gobierno nacional, sin embargo, nosotros como municipalidad estamos administrando 16 centros escolares de la siguiente manera que quiero compartir. Primero, estamos en el corazón de las Américas, en Centroamérica. Honduras tiene una población de 8.5 millones de habitantes. Nuestra ciudad, Tegucigalpa y Comayagüela, que es la capital de Honduras, damos aproximadamente 1.3 millones de habitantes. En este tema de la promoción de la alimentación escolar, nosotros tenemos 16 centros educativos que implementamos la alimentación escolar. He tratado de traer un resumen ejecutivo para que logremos entender lo que hacemos. De los cuales, de estos 16, 7 son centros de cuidado infantil, 7 son centros de prebásica y 2 de educación primaria. En los centros de cuidado infantil, los cuales alimentamos un total de 740 niños, que comprenden las edades de 3 meses a 3 años. La alimentación consiste en desayuno, merienda matutina, almuerzo y merienda vespertina, procurando que esta alimentación proporcione al menos un 80% del total de los kilocalorías requeridos para esto. En los centros de educación preescolar, más o menos alrededor de 600 niños, y la educación primaria, 300 niños para completar alrededor de los 1.600. La alimentación que se brinda consiste en una merienda por la mañana, instando que aporte un 20% del total de las kilocalorías requeridas para los niños. En virtud de esto, la actual administración encontró la necesidad de estructurar la alimentación escolar dentro del organigrama de la municipalidad, y por eso poder fortalecer y garantizar la sostenibilidad de esta iniciativa. Es por eso que después de varias misiones dentro y fuera del país, funcionarios de la alcaldía y de la alcaldía de Milán en Honduras, a raíz de varios eventos, acercamientos, reuniones e intercambio de ideas, el año pasado, en junio, firmamos un memorando de entendimiento entre la Alcaldía Municipal de Tegucigalpa, la de Milán, agregando dos componentes importantes, lo que es el Programa Mundial de Alimentos y también una fundación ACRA. A raíz de este memorando de entendimiento, el compromiso de realizar acciones en Tegucigalpa enmarcadas en el Pacto de Milán, que por sus siglas MUFPP, estas 4 organizaciones estamos trabajando de agosto de este año para finalizar en noviembre en la política pública de alimentos para centros de educación administrados por la Municipalidad de Tegucigalpa. Esta política busca promover el desarrollo de los modelos alimentarios sanos, sostenibles, a partir de los centros escolares administrados por la alcaldía como proyecto piloto educativos para impulsar un entorno de alimentación saludable. Cabe recalcar que con la deuda de la reconversión del gobierno de España, estamos haciendo 4 guarderías muy importantes en lugares estratégicos de la ciudad donde albergaremos más de 2.000 niños bajo este mismo esquema también. Así que eso es importante recalcarlo ya que estamos aquí en la madre patria. Y luego hay pasos para transformar los sistemas de alimentación, que fue una de las preguntas iniciales, que posteriormente las podemos contestar, que son 4 índices, o si me dejan contestarla de inmediato, ustedes dirán en cuanto al tiempo. ¿Sí? Muy bien. Estos pasos que tenemos para transformar los sistemas de alimentación van en 4 ítems, y lo tenemos así rápidamente. Elaborar una política pública de alcance municipal que contengan las directrices generales que reflejen la prioridad y voluntad del gobierno para asegurar a todas las personas que gozan en forma oportuna y permanente el acceso a los alimentos que necesitan. Otro sería establecer un equipo multidisciplinario e interinstitucional a nivel municipal, el que coordinará la ejecución y seguimiento de la política pública municipal de alimentación escolar de estos centros. Otro tema importante es identificar los programas, proyectos y estrategias que se desarrollan en el Distrito Central, que apoyan las instituciones implementadas en el marco de esta política. Y por último sería todos los procesos que se desarrollan dentro de este marco de esta política deberán ser replicados por todos los centros educativos de nuestra municipalidad, siendo un proceso paulatativo y sistemático que inicia en los 16 centros educativos que tenemos en la municipalidad. Termino diciendo esto en la primera intervención, que gracias al gobierno de México, de la jefatura del México Distrito Federal, hemos hecho un convenio y una carta de intención para adquirir las buenas prácticas de lo que es los comedores públicos que tiene la Ciudad de México en cuanto a las buenas prácticas de nutrición y de alimentación. Muchas gracias.
I think that we see the networking, we see the platform, we see the experience that have been shared to make the impact underground. So I think this is what we need to learn from the discussion you had and the support you get from Milano, Spain, and Mexico, but also what you brought to in the partnership. It will be very interesting to see the MOU that you put in place for others to see how you support each other in the process. Let me move on to Europe, and I think that we will not have a lot of time. I have been alert, but yeah, you will address the issue. The mayor of Copenhagen, and I think you are in charge of children and also the young people, and how you do your green procurement for schools and others. So tell us, how do you brand it? Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Actually, our starting point in Copenhagen was that we wanted to be a more sustainable city. We started to look on how we produce food to our children, to our youth. We have approximately 80,000 meals per day produced for our children in the city of Copenhagen. We have a lot of public institutions that has their own kitchens with their own chef or cook and 1 or 2 employees to help them. And then we have 2 central kitchens, one that provides food for a lot of our public schools and one that provides food every day for our elderly. But most of the food production is actually out in the kindergartens, out in the local schools, and is produced right on sets. We set a goal back in 2001 that 90% of our food production should be organic. We are at 88% today. In my department, we are actually higher than 90%, but in the city of Copenhagen, we have a 90% organic food production, and we are really proud of that because that was what we were aiming for 15, 16 years ago, and we reached that goal. We have contracts that include seasonal products and a wide diversity in fruit and vegetables, because we also know that is one of the main issues to actually achieve our goals. And then we realized during this process that it was a lot of really big producers, a lot of big companies that could deliver food to the city because it was such a huge amount of food we needed. So we actually decided that we would open our contracts so small and medium-sized producers had a chance to win a contract with the municipality. So we've been working really hard by analyzing the market, trying to design our tenders according to the market structure. So we actually turned it around, looked at the market structure instead of what we needed, and then we combined these 2 things and had a strong focus on the different sectors of producers. And when we talk about procurement, we make sure that we actually have a dialogue with the market before, during, and after the tender period. We have a strong participation by the market, but also by our people working in the kitchen, and of course with our procurement department as well. So we are trying to engage as many stakeholders as possible to make sure that we actually get the right food, the right producers, for the right price as well, because that's important too, but make sure that both the big producers, but also the small and medium-sized producers can actually deliver food to us. Then we also try to make sure that we use as many nearby or local producers as possible. We have we're sharing knowledge and working together across sectors, and then we also have 4 other urban and rural municipalities and the capital region of Copenhagen created this food partnership where we also try to exchange ideas, but also help each other on how to make the best tenders we can. We have made concrete joint action plans on creating a more sustainable food system, and we are all working towards getting even better on that. And we want to make sure that both the urban and the rural partners will benefit from these joint actions. And we will try to do whatever we can to support the distribution, the production, the processing, the consumption, and the recirculation of all this. We're trying to make sure that we create local jobs across the region, that we enhance both economic, social, and environmental sustainability, and that we look on food waste, food supplies, all that is important. So everything the gentleman's all said before, we're trying to do that within our procurement and within the tenders we have. And the reason why we do that is actually because we believe that the public sector needs to take on a long-term responsibility. Even though we are only mayors for 2 or 4 years at a time, then luckily we have fantastic employees in the city of Copenhagen that can continuously work with this. Even though a new mayor might come, the political system is aware of the hard work that these employees are doing, not just in my department, in the procurement department as well, but also in some of the other departments that is focusing on this. So it's really necessary that we as politicians, but also as a public sector, take this upon us to actually make changes in the way we think and in the way we go out and make these tenders, because it's that is where we can change things, both in the short term, but also in a long-term perspective. We worked strongly together also with the Ministry of Environmental. So we have created this national group of procurement officers. It sounds more interesting that it is more interesting than it sounds, because they are actually there to share experience on green public procurement and how to do best practice. And I think that is also a really powerful tool to use when you have to shift the food paradigm or the food paradigm in the cities. And last, I'll just say that we have this baseline questionnaire, and we can already now see that this network actually works. The procurement officers inspires each other when they meet, and the new national GPP criteria are easier implemented and result in more sustainable procurement across all of Denmark. And of course, back to where we started, is resulting in a more sustainable food system. So it all works, and if I just might, one last thing, because the other day I talked to one of the ladies working in our kindergarten kitchen. So she would make food every day to 100 small kids between the age of 1 and 5. And she has taken upon her to make the right procurement, to actually go and buy the right things for the children in her kindergarten. And she was so proud of the job she was doing, not just because she provided a nutritious food for the children, but also because she knew that she was part of the sustainable story of Copenhagen. And I think if we can manage to reach to the persons actually working with the food, with the children, then we have gone really, really far to reaching our goals. So that was just one last story I wanted to share with you. Thank you.
I think this is the moment that we were expecting to see how we shift the paradigm and the women leadership, the women that are leading in this, the men that are also here have done great. So, but let me also say that this is a very good practices, how you include the small business in the whole system, the procurement system. I think this is, and I'm sure that you wear the gender lens when you are doing that also, and the youth be included in that, and the fact that you accompany them in the capacity, because you might open up, but sometimes if they don't know, the small ones cannot have access. So great, and I was told that we have another female mayor, a great leaders of New Delhi, who just arrived in the room. Madam, you are welcome, the mayor of New Delhi. We will have the opportunity to give you the floor. Last but not least, I'm sure that you wanted to hear about how it is done in Seoul and how the social cohesion. When I hear you yesterday, I understood that it was fantastic. So we wanted to know how in Seoul, with the huge population, you have brought some of the solution. So you have the floor. And you are part of the, I think, of the network, the Seoul Plan Task Force, right? So tell us about your work. Thank you.
Thank you. Eun Sung Moon from Seoul. And first of all, my mayors apologize for not being here in mayor's debate. However, we have 10 delegates from South Korea. I think this is the biggest group. So we have the food policy team from Seoul City, and then also international cooperation team from the Ministry of Agriculture, and also the city, and Wonju City is the one of Milan Pact signatory cities, and also Hwasong cities, and also experts from food policy area from civil society. So it's quantities matters, although mayor is not being here. So maybe it's not a freshy the project for you, because it's quite similar with what Copenhagen has done, and the Copenhagen is quite move faster than Seoul. But this is a very new food policy initiatives that we have worked so hard last for 5 years. So I'd like to introduce our project. So we call it Seoul Eco Product Plates Project, SEPP. So the goal of this project is to transform Seoul into a city that provides healthy and affordable food, and that recognize the value of a direct connection between urban and rural area, and making a city in which consumers and producers share together. So this project, we started by changing school meal first into eco meals, using all eco-friendly products, and with the long-term goal of turning all public meals into eco meals in staged manner. As you may know, in most Asian countries, parents can do anything and everything for their children. So Seoul addressed the parents' expectation of the best food for their children through the comprehensive school meals programs. So this project aims at first connecting Seoul with the smallholder producers in rural area through the approach of public procurement system. And also its project aims at turning rural area into eco-friendly farming area by promoting eco-friendly consumption through the Seoul project. So we expect to raise the share of eco-friendly product provision to 70% by 2019. So for the phase one, we changed the free eco school meal. So we provide free meals to all students in elementary school and primary school, and some of high school with the underprivileged students from the low-income families. So, but we, within the several years, we're trying to cover all the high school students as well. For the phase two, we changed it, public meal distribution system, which had previously consisted of 5 to 7 stages. But we developing a direct connection between Seoul and producers in rural area. And then for the phase 3, Seoul initiated a matching project. So featuring a connection between one municipality from the Seoul Metro government and one municipality from smallholder producers in other countries. So the outcomes that we are enjoying so far, the project actually succeed in the cross-sectoral cooperation, not only at the city level, also at the national level. And also, household economies benefit from the project due to the reduced cost borne by parents. So the project had also significant impact of eliminating stigma effect of selected school meals. So we have implemented some empirical studies. So we have kind of scientific evidence to prove our achievement. So last one, that from our empirical studies, we experience changes in parents' awareness and children's attitude. So about the 60% of parents acknowledged that children's diet improved and that their understanding of rural areas and then farming had been raised through about the eco school meals. So there's a more way to go, but we are very happy about what we have done and what we are doing. So I'd love to share our experience in future too. Thank you.
That's its impact. And I think that the framework of monitoring that have been put in place, this is how you look at the indicators starting from your target you have set, but also the inclusiveness, the fact that everybody is involved, to measure the parents, enjoying the security of the children, from the children at the school and so on, so forth. That's a great example. Madam Mayor, this is a mayor debate, so we have some mayor in the room, but we just give you 2 minutes, I think, because we wanted to hear more. We have the mayor of Brazzaville and others that are in the room. We will try to make as much as possible, but just 2 minutes. Madam Mayor, you are very much welcome. But we know New Delhi is one of the places that solution, we have heard a lot. We did a study tour ourselves to see what is happening, but I think you can tell us more about some of the solution. 2 minutes, madam. Thank you.
Namaskar to all of you. I joined you today because yesterday was a big festival in my country, Diwali, the festival of light. So it was not possible for me to join you yesterday because thousands of people came to my office and house to greet me as a mayor. So I just say sorry that I joined you later on, but I want to convey my best regards and best wishes on the festival of Diwali. I am a mayor of South MCD, New Delhi. There is 3 councils, 3 corporations in Delhi, and I am the mayor of South Delhi. Our country has a great number of peoples, and as being a capital, there are migration in a great number. Peoples are joining our city, Delhi, every day, or you can say that right now we have more than the one of your country, I can say more than that are living in my city, Delhi. We have the challenges, we have the opportunities, because the population is always in the both the way. You have to take a challenge to provide the facilities, and it can be opportunity if you will provide them everything. In my city, the first challenge was to provide the food for everyone. From our municipal corporation, we have started to give the midday meal in the school. Like Ma'am Mayor was telling that in her country also, they are providing the food in the elementary school and the primary school. Like that, we are also providing the midday meal, which is full of nutrition. There is a team that is checking the food every day, and that is going to be distributed in not only in primary, but we are going to increase it into the higher classes also. In my country, there is a country of festival. There is thousands of people get together in the marriages and other programs like that. So we just took an observation that a lot of foods is going to be waste like this. So we have just made a project with the NGOs and other things. When the festival is going on, we are just contacting the host families. We are taking the leftover food which is not going to be used or which is not, you can say, spare from the festival, and we are just distributing it in the colonies where people are underprivileged are living. Moreover, in our country, like the many religious authorities are there, like the Gurdwara and Mandir temples, they also have their food policies in this. Food garbage management is also one of the biggest challenge. We have just introduced some of the, you can say, law in that every bulk generator have to manage their urban food garbage by themselves, and there is a lot of things we have to do. But I want to say to you that this is first time that our corporation has signed this MUFPP contract, and we are in Delhi committed to develop sustainable food system and to hope that we will be getting enough inspiration from the deliberation of the 3rd annual gathering of Mayor Summit and the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact, and our corporation will do whatever the this organization expect from us. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining the Milan Pact and making sure that you participate. And one of the solutions is how do you deal with the leftover food, especially that you are coming from the Diwali festival, and happy Diwali festival. And how do you, I think in the Africa context, we need also to learn more, because when we have those ceremonies, you know, we tend to produce a lot of food. So what do you do after the leftover? So that's a good example, I think, that we need to share as well. I have a list here. I think that the mayor of Brazzaville, the mayor of Zaragoza, and also the Netherlands. But I also wanted to hear the partnership between Senegal and I think it's Douala. Dakar and Douala, maybe some good practices. But I also wanted to give a chance to civil society, because these are the ones that are also on the ground, not just the mayor. So 1 minute to each one of you. I will start by Brazzaville.
Merci, Madame. Il faut dire qu'au niveau de Brazzaville, la politique en matière agroalimentaire est construite autour d'un système intégré de projets. Le premier projet que nous avons, c'est la relocalisation des maraîchers et agriculteurs urbains. Ici, il s'agit des agriculteurs qui ont perdu leur petite exploitation à la suite de la construction d'une route urbaine le long de la côte du fleuve Congo. Et donc, ces maraîchers, nous sommes obligés de les redéployer en leur trouvant d'autres espaces pour leur permettre de continuer leur activité agricole. Le deuxième projet que nous avons, donc de l'implantation et de l'exploitation d'un centre de traitement de déchets ménagers organiques, et les 10 déchets organiques obtenus à la suite des tri des déchets solides sont valorisés en engrais pour alimenter les activités de maraîchage ou d'agriculture urbaine. Et le troisième projet que nous avons est intitulé Sécurité alimentaire urbaine. Ici, il faut d'abord dire que ce projet est en stade expérimental. Il est destiné à appliquer des techniques de jardin tropical améliorées, dont l'objectif est d'obtenir une production maraîchère s'étendant sur toute l'année. Vous savez que nous sommes dans un pays où il pleut beaucoup, à Brazzaville, et ce n'est pas toujours évident de faire de l'agriculture et avec l'inondation des terres, etc. Et donc, pour réussir ce projet, nous sommes dans une démarche intégrée qui, naturellement, fait que nous intéressons en premier les maraîchers eux-mêmes, les producteurs, et à la mairie de Brazzaville, et ensuite nous intéressons aussi le ministère de l'Agriculture et les institutions en présence à Brazzaville, dont la mairie de Paris, qui nous aide beaucoup, dans un cadre spécifique des relations que nous avons avec la mairie de Paris. Je vous remercie.
Merci Brazzaville et de nous montrer que ce partenariat continue, mais également au niveau des ministères que vous travaillez conjointement avec le gouvernement central et que c'est une approche intégrée. Mais également de voir comment, dans la salle, les mairies qui sont là, comment vous travaillez, mairie de Paris, mais également les mairies de Valence et d'autres, et ceux qui sont ici également autour. Je pense que c'est le moment de fédérer. Et je pose la question, y a-t-il un mouvement pour réellement lutter contre la faim? C'est un mouvement, c'est ce que je vois ici, ce mouvement social qui veut réellement éradiquer la pauvreté et la faim dans le monde, c'est ça. Et je pense que Brazzaville est un exemple comment nous pouvons faire cette mobilisation sociale de la base à travers les mairies. Je vais donner la parole maintenant au prochain, le maire de Zaragoza. Monsieur le maire, vous avez la parole.
Buenos días. Buenos días, compañeros y compañeras municipios. Saludos a todos. Enhorabuena, Valencia, por este gran encuentro. Zaragoza se toma en serio los acuerdos y los compromisos firmados en el Pacto de Milán. La prueba es que mañana va a haber un gran encuentro mundial en la lucha contra el despilfarro de comida, donde más de 5.000 comidas se van a ofertar en la plaza pública de la ciudad, donde más de 150 voluntarios han estado trabajando a lo largo de una semana por proveerse de producto fresco que iba a ser desechado. Zaragoza está trabajando, impulsando en esa línea de los compromisos de Milán, esa colaboración mutua a la que aludía José Graciano, el presidente de la FAO, en el sentido de impulsar una red estatal de ciudades agroecológicas, en la línea también de contribuir a una red europea de ciudades agroecológicas, de intercambio de experiencias, datos, informaciones y proyectos. Creemos que somos una ciudad que tenemos cosas que aportar porque estamos trabajando en un banco de tierras relacionado con los proyectos Huertas Life Kilómetro Cero, proyecto europeo. Estamos trabajando por un acopio de hectáreas para la huerta ecológica, para crear también una escuela con productores de producto ecológico y también para la difusión en circuitos cortos de comercialización de este producto. Estoy hablando de distribuir a mercados públicos a través de puestos que distribuyan estos productos. También tenemos una muestra permanente todas las semanas de puestos de producto agroecológico, un gran mercado también en la plaza pública de la ciudad que contribuye a generar un poco esa relación de productores-consumidores. Estamos también trabajando en una marca comercial que es Huerta de Zaragoza, porque Zaragoza es la capital de una región, Aragón, eminentemente agrícola, y estamos trabajando también con todos los sectores sociales involucrados en un poco en este cambio de paradigma en materia de alimentación, actores académicos, pequeños productores, sector privado, trabajando con la hostelería para que el producto tradicional sea distribuido en el ámbito de nuestra ciudad, trabajando porque llevamos ya 30 años trabajando en escuelas con huertos escolares que han generado una pedagogía social en nuevas generaciones que están permitiendo, obviamente, esta lucha por la sostenibilidad medioambiental y mejorando también la calidad en los menús de los colegios escolares, de las escuelas infantiles, donde aspiramos, en la línea de lo que se han comentado por los compañeros que me han precedido, un producto ecológico y un producto fresco que de alguna forma contribuya a una mejora de la alimentación. Es decir, que la sociedad civil está plenamente implicada, los ayuntamientos tenemos que articular esos mecanismos de colaboración, pero sin una sociedad civil que lleva años trabajando en esto, poco tenemos que hacer los ayuntamientos. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Zaragoza. this is a network within the network. And I think that your appeal have been understood by most of the people in the room, that within the park, we are trying to show what's happening in Zaragoza in different ways. And I think those of us who are in the room and interested to join the network, so it become the movement, you know, a drop of water in the ocean, so it become bigger and bigger and bigger. So thank you for this. I'm going to give the floor to the Netherlands, but also Dakar and Douala afterwards.
Thank you very much. There's so much to tell, and I'm so much in awe of everybody on the stage. I'm so happy with your struggle for women's rights. So thank you very much. That's as a personal note. I also am in awe because in the Netherlands, as I said yesterday on stage, there is enough food, but there's no awareness. And I think the children need awareness. And I recognize myself in the mayor of West Sacramento, who says, I don't have the power, so I have to somehow get the activity and the activities of the, oh, you want this out? Okay. The activities of the people in my city. And what we did is we said to the schools, come with the plan. And they said, we have to somehow involve the next generation into the global goals. And we have to make them aware of food. So this morning, you all found at your table this card, and in the back there's a project. And one of our schools says, we have to learn our children, we have to teach them the value of food, the knowledge about connecting the city and the rural country, and that they are producing their food, and that a lot of local food needs to be in their diets. And they have to know about the nutritional value of food, because we can't keep on just dragging food all over the world. So they came up with a project, and in Holland, the word burger, everybody knows hamburger, but burger means civilian. And we want to have world civilians. So the project is called World Burger. And what they do is they say they want the children to make their own burger with local food, and work through nutritional value of local food and see if they can create their own burger that's tasty, that's nutritional, but that's also locally grown. And they want to share this information on an app. So they want to work with the telephone and see if they can somehow get the children to work on this app and to get all their knowledge and collect it in an app. So there will be an entire selection of world burgers, and then they will cook them all, and they will take a prize, there will be a prize involved, and they will be on the menu of our local restaurants. And I would so much like you to join this project. We're in the process of developing this app, but I think it would be nice if somehow the next generation works with global goals, and we have to start early because we have no time left. So thank you very much. I hope you join us.
Thank you so much. I think changing the mindset from the school, but also branding in a way, changing the language from the children, but also giving them the tools. I think this is one of the solutions, and I think you're doing great. And also linking it to the global, in terms of the Sustainable Development Goal as well. So thank you. I'm sure that many people will approach you to be associated in that. So let's have Douala in the speech on the Senegal first, but also I want civil society. I think that I have Italy, the catering, Maurizio Mariani, but also Daniel Lopez. But Senegal and Douala. So Dakar is my city, so tell me what you are doing in my city, right?
Voilà. Donc, vous devez donc savoir que Dakar a comme défi de nourrir une population vulnérable de plus en plus nombreuse. Et donc, depuis 2004, avec l'aide de la FAO, donc Dakar a travaillé avec la FAO pour développer une technologie simple, peu coûteuse, qui nécessite peu d'eau, et donc a une certaine expérience dans ce type d'agriculture urbaine. Et donc, Dakar partage avec les villes de la sous-région cette expérience-là. D'abord, on a été chercher des financements au niveau des villes comme la ville de Milan. Et donc, actuellement, Dakar est en train de partager cette expérience-là, grâce à la FAO de Rome, avec les villes de la sous-région. Actuellement, nous sommes en train de travailler avec Douala, avec la ville de Praia, dans le renforcement de capacités, partage d'expériences et de bonnes pratiques. Et il faut dire qu'on a commencé d'abord avec des villes comme Nouakchott, Banjul, Brazzaville, N'Djamena, Niamey, et donc ça continue avec les villes de la sous-région. Et on a développé un réseau de villes, et Dakar a été le porte-voix de ces villes africaines au sommet de Rome, à la Journée mondiale de l'alimentation. Et Dakar continue dans cette voie-là avec ce partage d'expériences et de bonnes pratiques avec les villes sud-africaines. Voilà.
Merci Dakar de donner toujours l'exemple. Hein. C'est pas que je suis de Dakar que je dis ça, mais voilà, tout à fait. Monsieur le maire de Brazzaville, oui, on donne toujours l'exemple Dakar. Douala, et je vois aussi que c'est toute une chaîne. Il y a Praia, il y a d'autres, il y a Nouakchott qui sont dans cette salle. Dites-nous ce que vous avez fait avec la FAO.
Merci Madame Diop. Je crois qu'à la suite de Madame Bodge de Dakar, je voudrais d'abord remercier l'opportunité du pacte de Milan qui nous a permis de pouvoir opérer cette chose-là, qui nous a ouvert le renouvellement des relations sud-sud avec Dakar, et dont l'appui consiste en un accompagnement sur un projet de micro-jardinage, comme vous le savez. Mais plus loin, dorénavant, un accompagnement de la FAO pour la mise sur pied d'un système alimentaire dans la ville de Douala. Il faut dire que des initiatives ont été faites précédemment par la ville qui a mis sur pied un projet d'éco-cantine scolaire. Donc, nous sommes en train de poursuivre le processus. Donc, ce que je voulais juste dire. Merci.
Merci, Monsieur le ministre. Et je ne sais pas si Praia veut prendre la parole, mais sinon, je demanderai à Mariani de prendre la parole. C'est ce que la société civile fait également, parce que je pense que les politiques prennent les décisions, mais pour la mise en œuvre, il faudrait aussi aller à la base et voir celles qui sont dans le business, mais la société civile, les ONG également. Donc, dites-nous ce qui est en train de se passer en Italie, surtout dans le catering. Quand on ouvre, comme l'a fait le Danemark, quand on ouvre l'opportunité d'avoir accès et de pouvoir produire et de distribuer, je crois que vous êtes là pour répondre à ces besoins. Monsieur Mariani, vous êtes où?
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm curious to know how Copenhagen or other cities are dealing with the social dialogue, with the market dialogue, with small, medium enterprise, but also with large food service company. This is the first question. I think that from my position as observer of this big need of change in public procurement and in the way to manage the flow of food inside the city, I think that we need to foster more dialogue and more interaction between private and local and public authorities. How you deal on this?
Oui, elle aura l'opportunité, 1 minute, de répondre à votre question, mais je donnerai la parole d'abord à M. Daniel Lopez de Société civile d'Espagne. Vous êtes dans la salle?
Sí, la intervención que quería hacer, sí, va en la línea igual de la intervención anterior y también en relación con cómo se hablaba antes desde el Ayuntamiento de Zaragoza, ¿no? De la importancia, bueno, en los procesos que se están desarrollando en algunos casos de gobernanza alimentaria, aquí en el Estado español está habiendo un debate importante en cuanto a la gobernanza. Trata de articular procesos locales de abajo arriba entre distintos actores con una posición muy desigual en la cadena alimentaria en cuanto al acceso al poder de negociación, de toma de decisiones, etcétera, ¿no? Entonces, simplemente es un debate abierto, ¿no? Desde la visión que se planteaba antes también de el necesario protagonismo que deben tener entre las políticas alimentarias urbanas, tanto las organizaciones sociales como el sector agrario, y en ese sentido, como se planteaba en la intervención anterior, ¿no? Esa necesidad de articular proyectos conjuntos con actores privados, etcétera, ¿no? Pero integrando esa asimetría de poder que tenemos como punto de partida y de alguna forma, el debate que nosotros estamos teniendo en la red estatal y con las organizaciones sociales en el Estado español tiene que ver con esas nuevas arquitecturas de gobernanza que se plantean desde posiciones desiguales, partan desde el a priori del derecho a la alimentación como un derecho universal a la alimentación de calidad, sostenible, sana, por supuesto, ¿no?
Je crois que l'Espagne est un exemple, et le fait que nous soyons à Valence et de voir que dans cette gouvernance, nous avons la société civile, les politiques, mais également à la base, que ceux qui bénéficient également sont là. Je crois que c'est cet exemple-là qu'il faut promouvoir pour que ça puisse se passer également ailleurs. Je vois sur la liste, parce que nous avons 5 minutes, mais je donnerai 1 minute à chacun de vous pour pouvoir dire un mot, mais j'ai encore 2 intervenants avant de clôturer. Je vois Barcelone et Madrid. Hein? Barcelone, quelqu'un a demandé. Et Milan, je vois français, vous voulez également. Donc, ce sera 3. Et je vois aussi Praia. Donc, on a 4 minutes, 1 minute chaque. Barcelone?
Thank you, Bineta.
Yeah.
Very nice table, the one you're facilitating. First of all, thanks Valencia for hosting the summit, and thanks Milan for leading this process, and thanks the Food and Agricultural Organization for also leading this networking among cities. We want to thank, in the name of Ada Colau, the mayor of Barcelona that couldn't attend in the last minute, but she's really concerned and she will really love to stay here with us today. We would like to share just two reflections. One has been done by different speakers already. For us, food policies needs the innovation and the experimentation of civil society. So to implement food policies for a change of paradigm, we need all that is happening outside the institution, and we need from the institution to understand the importance and to empower all that experimentation and all this innovation that is happening over there. The other one is we all have a production and a consumption dimension as cities, but I think it's quite clear, quite obvious that most of us, we have a predominant role. Some of us we are much like Barcelona, we have very little agricultural land, but we have a massive consumption capacity, a growing consumption sensibility towards local production and ecological production. And we need, in order to have food policy implementation orientated to local systems, we need articulation of local producers. And that's something sometimes we have difficulties to find. So we really want to stress the importance of agreements between cities, cities that has a much more producing role, and cities that have much more a consuming role. And we need the cities and the towns that has a lot more producing role to help big cities like us to find this articulation with local producers. And we think these agreements between cities could play a major role, and this Milan agreement network is very interesting space because we have both kinds of cities in the same network. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Barcelona. The FAO director told us that it is starting from the local to the urban. So I think that was, but also the added value of each city. You say you don't have land, but you have consumers. So how do you work together that those who have land can produce and the consumer can? So for me, this is what I'm hearing from you from Barcelona. And I think we have Madrid. Madrid, yes. Madam.
Muy buenos días a todas y a todos. En primer lugar, bueno, transmitir el saludo de Manuela Carmena, de la alcaldesa de Madrid, que, bueno, que estaba prevista su asistencia, pero finalmente no ha podido ser. Y, por supuesto, agradecer a Joan Ribó, el alcalde de esta ciudad, y a esta ciudad el enorme trabajo que están haciendo también de liderazgo, de impulso del Pacto de Milán. El pacto ha resultado ser una herramienta muy útil y muy concreta y muy eficiente a la hora de conseguir permear las políticas y las líneas de acción concretas a nivel local, y yo quisiera señalar, pues incidir en una de las líneas que se han ido señalando a lo largo de la mañana también, que es, bueno, pues cómo el Pacto de Milán también ha tenido una importante incidencia en la mejora de la calidad democrática de la gobernanza de nuestras ciudades. Quiero señalar y quiero aprovechar la intervención para, bueno, pues poner de relieve en Madrid, en la aplicación y en el desarrollo del Pacto de Milán en Madrid, digamos que el 80% del impulso de las medidas concretas lo proporciona la experiencia y la presencia de personas que desde los movimientos sociales pues han aportado su saber y han aportado una experiencia que ya tenía décadas de recorrido. En este sentido, decir que el Pacto de Milán ha venido a recoger y a cristalizar en la escala institucional una experiencia ciudadana que ya venía desarrollándose desde hace décadas. Creo que esto es pues algo hermoso, algo que hay que señalar, en tanto en cuanto pues es una pequeña historia o una gran historia que también se teje para conformar la historia de nuestra ciudad. Creo que es importante poner en valor esa dimensión de este proceso, entre otras cosas, porque esa experiencia da cuenta de una nueva relación entre la institución y la sociedad civil y del enorme valor de la sociedad civil también como un recurso político, un recurso que incide en la calidad democrática, pero también un recurso que tiene que ver con la riqueza material de nuestras ciudades y que tiene que ver con la garantía del trabajo por el ejercicio efectivo de los derechos ciudadanos, que, como se ha dicho aquí y como ha dicho en su intervención al principio Joan Ribó, pues es pues el más básico de estos derechos ciudadanos es precisamente el de una alimentación saludable, sostenible y de calidad. Muchas gracias.
Je suis sûr que le maire de Valence, en vous écoutant, dira que l'investissement qu'il a mis dans ce forum n'est pas vain. Je dis toujours pourquoi faire de tels forums. On apprend, mais également on crée une force et une force de transformation. Et c'est ce qui est en train de se passer, le fait que le pacte fédère et le pacte puisse amener des exemples. Et chacun apprend, mais également on part et on fait. Parce qu'à la fin, nous allons en bas pour transformer la vie de nos citoyens. So, vous devez être très fiers d'avoir convoqué ce forum, parce qu'on apprend énormément. Je crois que le dernier intervenant, c'est le dernier que nous avons, c'est Praya. À moins qu'il y ait, avant qu'on aille écouter les panélistes. Praya.
Good afternoon, Fonsita Praia. We don't have a widespread hunger in Praia since it's 90% urban, but we do have a growing informal sector that employ approximately 30% of the population, but few people talk about the quality of food consumption. I don't know if anybody in the panel can share that experience, because for us, it's a problem that we want to tackle, but you don't know how. Thank you very much.
Merci, Praya. Je pense que c'est une question qu'on pose, mais également de voir ceux qui ont parlé tout à l'heure et qui ont donné des bons exemples, comment on peut travailler ensemble pour tirer des leçons et voir quels sont les défis qu'ils ont rencontrés. Merci, Priya. The last? Okay. Venice? Venice? 1 minute.
Very shortly, I would like to raise the attention on the role of city in coordinate and act as a facilitator for the initiative bottom-up, from the initiative from the third sector, but even from informal group of citizens, from the church. We experienced that in Venice, more than there are a problem, as Sacramento said, a governance issue from the different levels, but also to make the environment for the bottom-up initiatives on that field.
Merci beaucoup, Venise. Et je suis sûre que vous nous donnerez des exemples comment ça se passe également après dans la ville de Venise. Merci. Monsieur, vous voulez une seconde?
Yes, thank you very much. Joel from Toronto, Canada. I'm wondering, you know, I've been here for a day and a half and I haven't heard, and I'd like at some point someone to address perhaps two elephants in the room. One is the internationalization of food production. If we don't control the Monsantos of the world, how is any of this going to happen? In some ways, we're discussing at the city level the effects of food and how food production is being organized globally. And if we don't address that, that elephant in the room is going to eat us alive. The second one is the impacts on national government. National governments have a role in this as well. And we as cities need to develop advocacy policies to our national governments to control the international players. And so what are the levers that we need to be developing as cities to make sure that policies are developed at the national level that support cities first as places of consumption, places of production, domestically, before we start to talk about export policies. So those two elephants in the room, I think, need to be solidly addressed. And frankly, I'd love to hear what the mayors have to say on that.
Thank you for mentioning the elephant in the room, and I'm sure that it will be addressed by the panelists. 1 minute each. I will start by the end. You might have, use your mic, I'm sure that you. Yeah.
Hola, hola, muy bien. Yo quisiera referirme a un tema que va relacionado a lo de Zaragoza, a lo de Barcelona y de Países Bajos, sobre el tema que tiene que ver, me imagino, la mayoría que está alrededor de esta sala, en el tema de la integración territorial. Cómo enlazar la zona rural con la zona urbana en este desarrollo político. Y nosotros, en Tegucigalpa, estamos con 4 características así rápidas que se las voy a mencionar. De implementar huertos escolares en todos los centros educativos de la ciudad, tomando en consideración técnicas de cultivo periurbana y calidad de los alimentos. Otro ítem es promover la agricultura familiar en coordinación con las instituciones del gobierno central y otras en las zonas rurales que rodean la ciudad capital. Un tercero es coordinar esfuerzos con las organizaciones no gubernamentales, aquí había parte de la sociedad civil, instituciones de gobierno, privadas o particulares que actualmente desarrollan actividades para mejorar la cadena de valor del área agrícola. Y por último, un tema de establecer alianzas estratégicas con asociaciones de pequeños productores, asociaciones de vendedores de los mercados, microempresas municipales, distribuidores mayoristas, entre otros que provean alimentos perecederos y no perecederos en un precio accesible y de calidad, quienes deben cumplir con las políticas de compras municipales. Eso quería hablar en el tema de la integración de las áreas rurales y urbanas.
Thank you very much. 1 minute, Madagascar.
I would like to go back to something that was raised by Brazzaville when they talked about the fact that the land, some small producers do not have access to land anymore because of urbanization or the construction of roads. And this is an issue that is specific to Africa. And when we talked about multi-stakeholders, I think that we have already mentioned the civil society and the others, but I would like to also to get members of parliament involved. Because when there are conflicts of interest, and when I say talk about conflicts of interest, I'll be very brief. People, companies who want to invest, for example, in building new malls, new shopping malls, or blocks of flats or offices, they can make a lot of money very quickly, but at the detriment of food production. It's good to have, for example, a modern town with a lot of roads and big shopping malls and blocks of flats, but we have to think of a long term. How are you going to feed the growing people, the growing number of people living in these new places? We have to think of that. What will happen in 10 years, in 15 years, in 50 years? And that's why we need to enlist the support of members of parliament, because if we just talk to these people as stakeholders, they listen to us today. But to preserve the agricultural belts around the town, we need laws. And who can pass for laws? Only members of parliament. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I would like to address the elephant in the room, because we have to start somewhere, and the cities is where we need to start. The cities and the local producers is where we start. And as a city like Toronto and also Copenhagen, we have the size to show our governments that it actually works. So if we make jobs, create jobs, we actually also create sustainable cities. We make the right procurement, we have the right procurement decisions, we have the right tenders, and we show the right signals. Then our governments, they need to listen. They do that in Denmark, and I'm sure that they will do that in Canada as well. But we cannot just sit here and say, well, it has to start with the governments, because it starts with the cities. And that is why C40 and all the other initiatives taken by this summit and other summits on different topics are so important, because if the cities if we do not know how to work closely together and show one big voice, and that is what the big cities is all about, then the governments, they are not interested. They need to see that this is good business. They need to see that this is not just one city. It is not just two cities. It is all cities all over the world. And I think that is the best thing we can take with us from this summit today. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, so for the NGOs and civil society in the room and our Milan Food Pact colleagues, sometimes I think we imagine that a mayor wakes up in the morning and gets dressed and takes a shower, not in that order, has breakfast, and then looks in the mirror and asks him or herself, what initiative shall I launch today? What problem shall I solve today? And therefore, then during the day, who should I consult with? How shall I include more actors in the conversation? But that isn't our day. That isn't our day as a mayor. Our day is, today is the day I must procure food for the schools. Tomorrow will not be. Today I signed that contract. Today I decide, does the train system run with electricity or with hydrogen? But not tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be dealing with, how do we solve with the kidnapping that just occurred down the street? So my day is a series of responses, and my influence on policy is in dealing with each of those situations as they arise. And it is important because issues like the solutions like procurement are so important. I was so pleased to hear that today as a practical solution for how we change the system, because we have walked out of summits like this before and said we will put more local food into schools. And then it gets into the guts of our organizations, to the bureaucracy and to the attorneys, and it never ever happens. And so solving problems like procurement, which we have as well in the United States, well-meaning national and state laws that say you must only pick the cheapest food. Always, only the cheapest. That's the only thing that matters. And so mayors have come together in the United States to say, no, we must change the procurement laws to allow us to do the kinds of practices that Copenhagen is being so innovative with. And so for me, the kinds of lessons that we've heard from so many mayors today and yesterday around practical solutions that are sometimes not the obvious reasons why progress is not being achieved and why problems are not being solved have been the greatest gift from this session. And I hope to learn more about many of them to implement in our own cities.
Thank you so much. Seoul.
When I talked, I introduced 10 delegates from South Korea because we working as a one team. It's so important working as a one team. We work together because central government support this whole initiatives, and then we work together to extend our good program to other cities. That's why we are one team. And second, our mayor, Mr. Park, this is really important. We have strong leadership, strong commitment about the good food policies, because we know having one good food policies can solve so many issues, including social exclusion issues and ecological resilience issues and health issues and inequality issues. That's why we're trying to develop good food policies. And also, we strongly believe, Koreans strongly believe food is public good. That's why we have to work with the civil society, and citizens should be taking leadership in developing policies. That's how we work. And also, our target population should be children. We should not let children suffering from diet-related illness, because that's human-made disease, so we can stop it. So that's why we're trying to target children first. So let's work hard for our children.
Thank you. New Delhi. 1 second.
In all of the countries, mayor is considered as the first citizen of the city. It means a lot of responsibility, a lot of accountability, and that is not without any reason. Mayor is the first person who is concerned with all the primary problems of the city, whether it belongs to food, whether it belongs to cleanliness, whether it belongs to any education, health, or any other matter. So we are here, but I must agree that we have to work together, whether it is our government or whether it is the other governments of the cities and other states or other countries. In my country, in my state, we are working hard for the coordination. And as a mayor, because 4 months back only, I just got this profile. Before that, I was an activist for my party, but this is the first time that I'm the mayor of my city. So I'm trying my best, and I'm just running here and there with my applications, with my proposals to my state minister, to my central ministers. And I'm blessed that right now my Prime Minister is Mr. Narendra Modi, who is very much concerned about the persons who are on the lowest platform of the society, and especially is very much worried about the food problems. So what I can assure you on this platform that we will try our best, and right now, as we are the part of this association, we have signed the agreement. We will say that after 2-3 years, you will get the good news from my country, from my state, from my Prime Minister.
Thank you. Thank you, and a round of applause to the panelists. They have done great. I will not be long to keep you, because I know that the food is in front of us and we need to enjoy it. Let me just say a few words. Coming from Africa, I was very proud to see many of the cities in Africa being involved in the park. Brazzaville, Banjul, I'm very happy to see Banjul, Maputo, Windhoek, Johannesburg. You know, just allow me to be a little bit chauvinist and tending, but also I have seen a lot of other Souths and China and Seoul and India, Europe. So this is really the mobilization that we could see between all the continent, North America, and so on and so forth. I'm very proud to see. I think the goals that we set for this mayor, which are the policy level, to say that what are the solutions on the ground, but what are the challenges that you face as well. Because it's not just like beautiful. You have defeat every day, challenge every day on prioritizing, but also making sure that you have the right procurement, the social mobilization, the education system that you want to transform by giving the right thing to the right people, but also what you rightly said, that we don't eat the road, we don't eat the building, we eat the food and the healthy food. And I think that is what we have discussed today, what kind of system we all need for all stakeholders. So we are very happy that today we have seen some of the solutions, and we learn from those. We are going to replicate them, not just copy and paste, but we are going to learn from each other and build that platform. Let me again thank Milano, Valencia, the next, I don't know where, but count on me because I have learned a lot. Let me also thank my coach, Hank. I learned a lot from you since I arrived here. So your foundation, I'm sure, will accompany one of the projects, Empower Women in Africa. This is, if you want to know about it, come and ask me. I'm doing it in 8 countries. So it's not just the mayor. We civil society and women are also doing what we need to do and where we need to do it, especially in countries that are in need. So thank you, all of you. I'm very happy, very glad. And a round of applause again to these distinguished panelists. It was 50-50, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, almost. Thank you. Thank you. Agenda panelists, thank you very much. All of you, et bon appétit aussi. Merci.
Hello, we are actually having just a few minutes before going to lunch to hear about the Urban Food Action Platform, which is an initiative that will enable us to share our good practices. It's going to be just a few minutes, and it's Marcela Villarreal from FAO. Thank you.
So, not yet lunch, so please bear with us for a moment. And as we're putting on the screen our Urban Food Actions Platform, I just want to walk you through a couple of those features of this platform that we're putting up today. As you have seen in the last 2 days, there's huge amount of innovation regarding the different kinds of problems that cities face, and we know that the problems that you face are quite complex. But there are a huge amount of innovative solutions to these problems, which we are sure are going to benefit you in the future. So what we wanted to do here is put up a platform. We joined forces together with the networks that work on local government, including, of course, very importantly, the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact Secretariat, ICLEI, RUAF, City Food Network, the UCLG, Orofogar, and very importantly, C40. So together, we decided to have this kind of one-stop shop where you will be able to find everything you need, everything you really wanted to know, and also share your own experience, very importantly. Now, we have structured it in this way, and I thank Michela, who from the back up there is helping us see what the platform looks like. It has several sections: know more, areas of focus, knowledge products, events, partners, and share. Here, we are seeing the know more action. Let us go now to the know more section. Let us go to the areas of focus. The areas of focus are the 6 areas of focus of the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact, which you all know very well. Among these, let's look at, for example, here, this is the one on food supply and distribution. You have a huge amount of resources, huge amount of news, and many other useful sections. Of course, I will not go on the detail. We're very late in the schedule. But just now, let's look at the knowledge products. In the knowledge products, we have the studies, the data, the information you would like. We also have a search function right there, which will help you also around the finding the documents that you want or you need. Now, let us look at our partners. As I mentioned before, these are the partners that made this happen. Thank you to all of them. It's joint work. And finally, let me make a call to all of you. We just launched it, but we need to populate it. And we will populate it with all of your experiences, your know-how, your data, and we will be contacting you. You can also contact us. Please make sure that you share with us what you want to see there, but also give us feedback. If you see a gap, if you see things that need to be improved, we will be counting on you. So I'd like to finalize by asking you, make an appeal to contribute to the site and also to use it as much as it is for the benefit of everybody here. Please do use it, contribute it, and we hope it is going to be extremely useful for all of you. Thanks very much.
We are now going to hear Mrs. Maite Girao, Councillor for Health and Sports from the city of Valencia, reading the Valencia Appeal, which is a letter that steering committee cities from the MUFPP produced as a form of advocacy for future international events in 2018. Please, Mrs. Girao.
Buenas tardes y bienvenidos a Valencia. El tercer encuentro anual y cumbre de alcaldes del Pacto de Milán, celebrado en Valencia y organizado por el Ayuntamiento de Valencia, ha reunido a más de 300 alcaldes, delegados y expertos para fortalecer el diálogo entre ciudades, territorios, gobiernos nacionales y organizaciones internacionales sobre sistemas de alimentación sostenible que vinculan tanto áreas urbanas como rurales en todo el mundo. El Pacto de Milán se promovió inicialmente con motivo de la Expo de Milán en el Día Mundial de la Alimentación en octubre del 2015. A partir de octubre de 2017, el pacto ya cuenta con 159 ciudades firmantes de todas las regiones del mundo que representan a más de 450 millones de personas. En el pacto, las ciudades piden sistemas alimentarios sostenibles que sean inclusivos, resistentes, seguros y diversos, que proporcionen alimentos saludables y asequibles a todas las personas en un marco basado en los derechos humanos, que minimicen los residuos y conserven la biodiversidad al tiempo que se adaptan y mitigan los impactos del cambio climático. Muchas ciudades del Pacto de Milán están tomando medidas para transformar los sistemas alimentarios con el fin de vincular los sistemas de producción social a pequeños productores familiares. aumentar el acceso a dietas saludables y sostenibles, reducir el desperdicio de alimentos y prepararse para el cambio climático. Estos y otros esfuerzos de los gobiernos locales son formas de implementación de los Objetivos de Desarrollo Sostenible de la Agenda 2030, el Acuerdo de París y el compromiso de los países para fortalecer la seguridad alimentaria y la nutrición, como se establece en la nueva Agenda Urbana, adoptada por los Estados miembros de la ONU en octubre de 2016. Es por eso que aquí, en la ciudad de Valencia, hacemos un llamamiento para que se reconozca la implementación de la Agenda de Desarrollo Sostenible de 2030 en los esfuerzos pasados, actuales y futuros de las ciudades para erradicar la pobreza y promover la prosperidad en un mundo cambiante, avanzar en sociedades sostenibles y resistentes, empoderar a las personas, garantizar la inclusión y la igualdad, concienciar y fomentar estudios sobre esos temas. Estos esfuerzos están en marcha en muchas ciudades a través de un marco de trabajo basado en los derechos y en un alto grado de inclusión social, incluso en condiciones adversas de volatilidad económica, crisis y conflictos prolongados, crecientes migraciones e impactos del cambio climático. Somos conscientes de que existen múltiples procesos paralelos con oportunidades para vincular la implementación internacional, nacional y subnacional de los ODS y la NAU, y los gobiernos locales y territoriales no quieren quedar atrás ni fuera de estos procesos. Los enfoques holísticos y de varios niveles para la gobernanza de los sistemas alimentarios deben ser más inclusivos con los actores a nivel subnacional, especialmente en la próxima revisión y seguimiento de las agendas globales que se producirán en los próximos años. Por tanto, es necesario mejorar la coordinación en estos temas, especialmente en múltiples niveles de gobierno. Por todo ello, en el contexto de una agenda global de desarrollo sostenible, las ciudades del Pacto de Milán apelan al Secretario General de Naciones Unidas y a todas las agencias de la ONU, organizaciones regionales, gobiernos nacionales, gobiernos locales de todo tipo, sociedad civil, socios nacionales e internacionales, para el desarrollo, el sector privado y todos los ciudadanos comprometidos a incluir iniciativas sostenibles y aplicables en los sistemas de alimentación locales de las ciudades y que también fortalezcan los vínculos rurales, urbanos integrales para el desarrollo sostenible. Enviamos específicamente el mismo llamamiento a todos los convocantes internacionales y nacionales de los procesos de planificación relacionados con la implementación de los ODS y la NAU. Estos procesos deben incluir formal y completamente a los actores urbanos y territoriales, ampliando así los enfoques de gobernanza para su acción. En particular, el Foro Urbano Mundial, el Foro Político de Alto Nivel de las Naciones Unidas y otros procesos globales importantes que deberían incluir el trabajo en sistemas alimentarios regionales de la ciudad con objetivos mensurables, sostenibles y territoriales. Hacemos este llamamiento sabiendo que los gobiernos locales y territoriales son clave para conseguir progresivamente el derecho universal a la alimentación y para una vida de paz, dignidad y prosperidad para todos. Muchas gracias.
So we can finally enjoy a meal. It's one floor above yesterday's room. We are running a bit late, so I invite maybe to eat quickly, and I should give us 3/4 of an hour. Thank you.